Hello, everyone. This is my immigrant diary. Do you know that the shortest amount of time that you can become US citizen is 1 year? But today we are not going to talk about that. We are going to do that in another video. Right now, we want to talk about the importance of US passport. Actually, I want to talk about it, but I'm going to bring Precious to come and join me on the journey. So I'm going to share a video right now about one of the things that explains why passports are important.
What's matter? Anybody that tells you otherwise is just not telling you the truth. Sunil Chetri, he got an offer from QPR, great player. He played for the national team, but they didn't give him a work permit. Why? Because he had an Indian passport. Because India is not in EU. Because India was not ranked below 70 in the FIFA's ranking. Whereas if Sunil Chetri had a British passport or a European passport, he would have played not for QPR, a better team. He would have earned millions of dollars and he would have lived a better life, him and his family. That's the sad truth of life. But if you don't have strong passport, it doesn't mean that you should be okay with not getting to the top. It means you need to outwork someone that has a British passport or a Canadian passport. It is what it is. It's all up to you. Passports matters. Nobody tell you this, but I tell you.
So, what do you think? I know the guy spoke about several things, but there are some points that stood out to me. But what do you think about what he shared?
What he shared is a fact. It's the truth. Passport matters. I know there's this thing, and I'm sure we're going to make a video about the different colors, different passports, and what they signify. But there are a lot of people who have lost opportunities, who have been denied entry into countries just because of the kind of passport they hold. I.e., as a Nigerian citizen with a green passport, I know the limitation people around the world have experienced because of the passport they have. And, even for me, even traveling with my family, I've had to be put to the side because I have a Nigerian passport and they all have a US passport. And so, trying to be on the same line, it was just, so passport matters. You cannot undermine the importance of passport, especially when you're trying to create opportunities globally.
I think for me, I definitely agree with the things that you said. A lot of people have experienced like difficulty, especially with traveling. I
Yeah.
remember the richest man in the whole of Africa, Aliko Dangote, where he was talking about how difficult it was for him to get to certain African countries for business trips. Like, it's not like they don't know him, but just because he has a Nigerian passport, it's difficult for him to travel there. But imagine anyone that has an American passport or an
The
European
European
passport,
passport.
they just go. The same Africa continent
That
that
is
all
the
of us
strangest thing, right,
Hey,
about the African continent. I don't understand that. It's difficult for countries within Africa to travel to one another. Like, it's not easy. Every stories of Nigerians and Kenya in the Kenya airport. There was a publication one time about that. Just some
yeah.
difficulties, and just some other countries. It's been people having difficulties within Africa to travel. But the weirdest thing is people with European passports, American passports, we just fly into African countries back and forth. They even get visa on arrival.
Yeah.
Just within certain African countries, East Africa, West Africa, there's just some level of difficulties traveling. But and
Yeah.
it's just crazy. But this is reality of people who travel a lot, who travel around the world, experience all of these difficulties just because of the kind of passport they hold.
Yeah, I think he gave 2 points I mentioned. One of them is that the footballer that couldn't join a club
Yeah,
in
QPR
a
used to be in the Premier League. Yeah,
championship.
I think in one of those lower leagues. Yeah.
Yeah. So I can imagine how that would have changed his life and his family's life. And just because he didn't have an European passport, he had an Indian passport, he couldn't go. And the other point that he talked about was the fact that even though you do have that kind of passport, something that you have to be aware of is that you are expected to actually prove yourself a lot more. But because of the way the world is at this time, if you come from one of the most powerful countries or the first world country, as I say, you are assigned some privileges. So you don't even have to show a lot of things as long as you have the basic skill. For example, if it's football, you have the basic skill. They see that you can run, you can jump, you can do this and that's it. But if you're coming from a different country, you have to work a lot harder to be able to get that thing. And that applies to a lot of people. And that's the mentality personally that I think that everyone should have. If you're in Nigeria, for example, if you want to travel outside, you know that you have to work a lot harder. Because again, it's just the way the world is that a lot of things are just not clear. especially to people who might want to hire you outside the country. They don't know if you are who you say you are. They can't prove, they can't track you. They'll be able to say, like, you have to show out and really, really stand out for you to be able to get opportunities. Again, that's just the reality of the world, unfortunately. But that's a motivation for a lot of people to want to really just be the best version that they can be. And you can see it whenever you see someone who moved, whether it's from Africa or Asia or even like any country that's not considered some of the most powerful countries, they really, really, really want to be able to work hard. And by doing that, they become very successful wherever they go to. So those are two things that you mentioned that stood out to me. I'm definitely experienced the latter part. As immigrants, we have to work hard because, again, we know where we're coming from and we know where we're going to. So for me, that's a lot of motivation. I really hope this also inspires a lot of people wherever you are. If you want to move, whether it's to Germany or to the United States or anywhere that you feel like you're going to get more opportunity, definitely it's going to be there. It's going to be hard, but the opportunities will be there for you.
Awesome. Thank you, Ali. I think you said it all, and that will be all for me.
Thanks for joining us today, everyone. Please like, share, subscribe. Please look out for our next video. We're going to be doing something a little bit special. Until then, we'll let you know. Have a nice one.
Have a nice one, Dad.